Welcome to The Trend. I'm Rebecca Granite. He is a Golden Globe winning actor, #1 New York Times best-selling author, Grammy-nominated singer, screenwriter. I'm telling you, the list goes on and on and on. Did I mention he also starred in a little show called Glee? Yeah, I knew you'd know that one. His new book is out right now. It's called Stranger Than Fan Fiction. Chris Colfer's here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
I have to tell you, when we announced that you were coming on the show, Chris, I got so much fan reaction from you have the most incredibly devoted fans. They were tweeting at me 24/7 about your arrival. So, and I think the interaction is so great because that's sort of kind of what this book starts off with, the spark of what it's about is, right? It's a
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a person who is a famous guy on television, and he goes on a cross-country road trip with some fans.
Yeah, it's a book that kind of celebrates the beautiful symbiosis between a fan and what they're a fan of. I think it's, on the surface it seems like it's a book about someone's fall from grace, but it's really actually about about people's journey for getting over their fear of approval.
And let's talk about the title for a second. So in 2013, we'll go back a little bit, you were at the People's Choice Awards. You won People's Choice Award. And in your speech, you said, and this is a quote, "It's so flattering to be exploited in your fan fiction."
It was.
And was that the impetus for this book? Was there, did you know then that this was going to happen? Or when did you come up with that moment where you said, this is the next book, this is what it's going to be about?
It's interesting because I was definitely introduced into the world of fan fiction very much because of Glee. And I think while Glee was on the air, I think it was like #2 of the shows that had the most fan fiction written about them. Of course, when I was a kid, I used to write like my own fan fiction, but I didn't really know it was actually fan fiction. I was just doing it for myself. I never posted it anywhere. I think we would go be on set and we would find these stories that kids had written about us, and we would just laugh and laugh at all the crazy sexual adjectives they would use and the descriptions of our bodies, and it was so invasive but flattering, and at the same time it was quite an experience.
And so for this particular book, take us to the moment that you knew, like that you came up with the idea, that you sparked the idea? Was it because of all the fan fiction that you had been reading?
I think no, actually. I think it was actually, I wasn't even going to incorporate fan fiction into it originally. No, the original title was A Summer to Remember, which is a chapter of the title of Chapter 2 instead. But I think it was probably, I want to say like the 4th season of Glee, I started toying around with the idea of like what it would be like if our fans actually got to meet the real us, because we often would get these letters like, oh, we just want to hang out with you, we want to go on a trip with you, and I remember,
will you go on a road trip with
right,
us?
exactly. And I remember thinking, oh my God, they have no idea how terrible that would be, because we are all so high maintenance, and they don't even know how miserable they would be. And then I was like, oh wait, that's a great book. And so I started jotting down notes and have been thinking about it since.
Yeah, it's fabulous. If we were to go on a road trip, what would be your most high maintenance quality that you think would be difficult to deal with?
I have to pee every 15 minutes. I swear, okay. I have the bladder the size of a walnut, and it always the car always makes it worse. I don't know what it is.
Okay, so going to the bathroom
would be my #1.
You'd be like, oh, Chris.
Yeah, and I get really cranky if I don't have my diet soda.
Oh, that's good too. Diet soda's good though.
Yeah,
I could get on board with that one.
Great. We can travel together.
Perfect. Your fans have given some great questions, so every once in a while we'll throw one in there. And you sort of touched on it, so I want to go there now. Many of your fans wanted to know how much personal experience was woven into this story. One fan, at Colfer Sushanka, says, maybe you could share any real stories that you used in Stranger.
Oh my gosh! You know, the sad thing is I don't really remember. Because whenever
your life,
well, that's a different story. Yeah. No, it's because when I was coming up with the plot, and anytime I get inspired, I'd write down what I would want to write, but I would forget what inspired it. So I'd literally have to go through the book line by line with maybe a friend who was there with me, and really take it line by line and say what was real and what was not. But I mean, so much of it was inspired by my experience of being a fan as well as being an actor on TV.
When you were younger and you started writing, do you remember some of the first stories that you wrote, what it was about?
Oh gosh, I think the first story I ever wrote was called Magic Land, and it was about Santa Claus's daughter. I don't know.
What happened to Santa Claus's daughter?
She went on an adventure. And Yeah, and I used to love playing with action figures when I was a kid, and I'd get really, really invested in the stories I used to tell with my action figures, to the point where I'd like write out a list of credits at the very end of which toy played which character in this weird 4-year-old world that I created.
Wait, that's adorable. I'd like scroll the scrolling credits at the end. You start like throwing the pages.
Right, and it's funny because I've held on to so many of the stories. Like my children's series, The Land of Stories, is based on the stories I came up with as a kid, and many of the characters are actually described as what my action figures looked like back then.
Really? So this was sort of a process that was growing and growing for you. Maybe you didn't even know it.
No, I didn't.
Time when you were
I didn't know what it was until I was older, and I was like, oh, that's called writing. And then I stuck with it.
Oh, writing. That's what that is.
That's nice. Yeah.
So you know, on the happy side, it's fairy tales, and it's it's on the lighter side, we should say. It's fairy tales, and it's exciting, and it's meeting your favorite idols from television. But on the other side of it, though, you tackle some really important issues. So many of the people who are your fans are looking up to you for guidance. And you don't seem to shy away from that. You seem to tackle those issues often. I wonder, do you feel the pressure to sort of get it right so that they get the right impression from you, or do you just do your thing?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I would. My biggest fear is one day that maybe my a lack of communication would undermine my intentions. Because I always have really, really great intentions, and I really always want to lift everyone up as far as possible. So when you write about serious stuff, you do get really worried that you might say a word that contradicts the meaning of the message that you're trying to present. Yeah. So there's a lot of pressure, but it's one of my favorite jobs is being a role model. I take it very seriously, and I love inspiring kids, because when I was a kid, there were very few people who spoke to me and inspired me. So I love being that for so many.
Speaking of inspiring people, I'm sure this has followed you around since 2011, but of course you were named to the elite 2011 Time 100 most influential people.
Crazy, yeah. I thought you were going to say the Illuminati, but
no,
we can't talk about that.
Time recently called you, so Time comes back again, recently called you and, quote, one of the most successful authors for young readers publishing today. I don't think people realize, maybe some do, how many books
God, I hope that's
published.
Not fake news.
No,
please don't be fake. Yeah, no.
I promise. This was quite obviously an accomplishment. These are long books that you're writing. They're not quick fixes.
No, and I
you're
write
doing
every
this
word
yourself,
myself,
which is incredible. You have a best-selling fairy tale series, The Land of Stories, that everybody loves. The latest, The Last, is coming up soon. The release right in the summer.
Yes.
Are you going to miss it?
Oh, I already miss it.
You do?
Oh, every time I finish a chapter, there's always like one line that I'll read when I recite the chapter back to myself that just makes me burst into tears.
Which there's one line.
There's in every chapter I find a line or two that'll make me cry. And I feel like such a wimp. But the characters have been with me for so long, because that is a story that I tried writing when I was a kid and promised that I'd get it published one day as an adult. So it's really it's so difficult to think that there'll be a time when I won't be as connected to those characters as I am.
Yeah, but they'll still always be with you.
Oh, totally, yeah. And I'll probably use them in other forms later.
Oh, very cool. Children's or young adults? This is a book for young adults, and you're also writing more for children with the fairy tale stories. Do you like to just switch between the two? Is there one that you find that you gravitate to a little bit more?
Well, I always try to write my reading level. So it's sometimes it's easier to write for kids, because kids aren't going to judge it or take it as seriously as teenagers might. But I really love being able to be witty and being able to swear when I want to, or make a sexual joke, or something in
Which
a way.
This is woven in. Is a lot of that
over,
in here for people who are going to go out and get it. What about upcoming projects for you, Chris? I know you've been posting a little bit about Indigo coming up. Tell us what we can expect, as much as you can, going forward, some things that you're working on right now.
Okay, well, I just announced that I'm developing my own show called Indigo with Sonar Entertainment, and that's about the Indigo children. I don't know if you're familiar with the Indigo children.
It's about the misdiagnosis.
Yes, it's kind of been a fascination of mine for a really long time. I have a sister who has special needs, and so I've been around these kids my whole life, and I really have seen their full potential with my own eyes, and it just infuriates me when the rest of the world can't, because they're too busy with the stigma stigma that someone might have. So I really would love to create that show and really have a show for those types of kids to identify with and to be entertained and inspired by. So wish me luck on that. And thank you.
I know everyone probably is as well.
Thanks.
Of course they are.
Yeah, and I think, I've been having a lot of talks about The Land of Stories becoming a film franchise, which is exciting and terrifying at the same time.
Why terrifying?
It's have you seen Saving Mr. Banks?
I have not seen.
Okay, all right. Well,
no.
that's kind of my life right now.
Okay.
Really trying to hold on to your vision of your characters and whatnot, while also knowing you have to share them. They're not just your characters anymore. And it's a weird situation for an author to have to learn to let go of something they've created
A little bit and give it into other people's hands.
Right,
Absolutely.
right, and that's where the terror comes, because you could have one character that represents all these qualities to yourself, but then maybe they don't represent that to other people, and they'll be modified to fit other people's view of it.
Yeah, but embraced nonetheless, which
Embraced,
is
hopefully,
nice.
yes, yeah.
And real quick before we get into our 10 for 10 here, one of your co-stars, Heather Morris, just got announced, who played Brittany on Glee.
Oh, right, Dancing with the Stars,
She's gonna be
right?
dancing. What do you guys think about that? Has the cast been talking about that, or personally, what do you think about that?
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good luck to the rest of them. I mean, I remember she actually was
First hired to teach me the Single Ladies Dance.
The famous Single Ladies Dance,
That's what they hired her to do, because she had done it with Beyonce on tour and at the AMAs, and so they hired her to teach me that dance, and that was a task for her.
Was that tough for you to learn that?
Oh my God, I had never danced before, so absolutely.
And you made
But
it
she was
look
very
good.
patient with me, and everyone fell in love with her, and then she became part of the official show, and she's incredible. I can't wait to watch her. She's going to upstage all the professional dancers. I can't wait to see it.
That's going to be a good one to say that. She's going to frustrate her partner, or maybe get the Mirrorball trophy. All right, 10 for 10, Chris. This is a segment that we have here, 10 questions. You get 10 seconds roughly to answer each. We're going to put some fan questions in here because there were a ton of them. So are you ready? Okay. Your must-listen-to song right now, the one you're just so into and can't get out of your head.
Ooh, I'm going to say, oh crap, Starboy by Weeknd.
Oh, such a good one. That was a great one. I was listening to that on the way up here today. When you were 10 years old, you said you were fascinated by fairy tales. If you could be best friends with any fairy tale character, who would you want to be best friends with?
Oh, the evil enchantress in Sleeping Beauty.
Because I just thought she was remarkable.
Remarkable, like cool?
What a way to get revenge.
Yeah.
Go and ruin a child's birthday party. Like, we can hang.
All right, don't invite Chris to your birthday parties. That's great. All right, in the book, you thank your fan fiction writers. Strangest piece of fan fiction you've read about yourself?
I read one once where I gave birth to a litter of kittens.
Feasible.
Oh, yeah.
Feasible.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I prefer.
What?
Yeah, I love the ones that describe me with like ripped abs and whatnot. Like that's just nice of them to do. But yeah, that was probably.
That's very neat. Your favorite performance from Glee that you did?
Oh gosh, probably As If We Never Said Goodbye.
Okay.
From
Why is
Sunset
that?
Boulevard. I love that song so much, and I think it was just one of the few times it was the perfect song for the perfect moment.
Got it. Okay. You actually got, I'm going to show this one to you because we had somebody tweet in a picture of a little girl. And now, of course, we lost it, but it's a picture of a little girl. And she said, are you going to do any more picture books like Trollbella?
Oh yes, Trebella's coming
show you
out.
afterwards.
Yeah, I did the Kirby Tree, which is a spinoff of the Land of Story series, and that was a children's book. And then I'm doing another one called Trebella Throws a Party, and that comes out this summer. And then I think I could definitely do a few more.
Oh, great.
Yeah, those are pretty
She's
nice.
going to be happy.
Yeah.
You're going to love it. She was holding up a little sign. You're going to love it.
So sweet.
Another one inspired by the fans. If you could give any piece of advice to people who are either being bullied right now or being met with resistance or meeting with resistance and trying to achieve their dreams, what would you say to them?
Oh gosh.
10 seconds is a tall order for that
Yeah,
one.
I know,
do
right?
Do what you can.
I think I would say, never forget the more that the world discourages you, the more it needs you. So please don't let the current state affect you. And remember that happiness needs no permission.
I swear we didn't practice that. That was really well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a lot of practice in regards to this, but
that was
it breaks my heart.
Yeah. At Weird Old Sadie says, do you have any habits while you're writing? So maybe give us sort of a picture of when you were writing this book. Where were you normally, or what were you doing?
Okay, usually it was like 3 in the morning, and I hadn't showered, hadn't shaven. Have a golden retriever next to me on the side, a fat tabby cat next to me on the side, and just chugging back diet sodas, hammering away. That's the best picture I can paint of me writing.
So that diet soda.
Yes,
and then frequent bathroom breaks.
And sometimes I have to remind myself, you haven't peed in 10 hours. Maybe you should
get up and do that,
and then go see the doctor, because that's not
okay. You famously did a sing-off with Leah Michelle on the show to Defying Gravity. If you could pick another song to challenge her with at some point in life, what song would you like to sing or duet with her or challenge her with?
Can we pick a man song?
Yes.
Like, oh my gosh, like I love people would like compare us so much, and I'm like, can I please remind you that I'm a guy, and I'm still hitting these notes. So maybe there should be kind of a curve to your criticism there. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'd say Old Man River. Okay. Bring it.
Yeah, bring it. All right, Leah, there you go. I was gonna say, pick one that favors, would favor you then.
Right, there you go.
She has
well,
to
I'll sound lousy on it too, but at least I won't sound as lousy.
No, come on, you sounded...
Thank you.
Our overseas fans want to know if you will be traveling to Europe, or if there'll be a European tour for the book or anything.
I hope so. It's definitely on the hopes, but it's not on the agenda quite yet. But I really hope so.
Well, they want you, so.
Oh, it's good to be wanted.
I'm just sending the message. At Kay Glebe wants to know if there's one message you would like your fans to get out of reading Stranger Than fan fiction. What would you like them to take away from this?
Well, I know on the surface it seems like a story about your heroes are human, but it really is about for people and for young people and their different struggles with disapproval. So I hope this book, if it does anything, I would hope that it helps people with their own battles of disapproval and helps them overcome it.
Oh, Chris, you said it. This is such a multi-layered book with so many different elements to it.
Thank you.
We want to remind people to go out and get it. It's out now. Stranger Than Fan Fiction by Chris Colfer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.